Hello students, so this is our part 8 video of the chapter Organic Chemistry. So in our previous class already we have discussed about the Lassine test and we have discussed about the detection test for nitrogen. So in our today's class we will discuss about the detection test used for sulfur and for halogens by using Lassine test. So let's come to the board. So test for sulfur. Okay, so now if the organic sample, if it contains sulfur along with carbon and nitrogen, if it contains sulfur along with carbon and nitrogen, if these three elements are present in the organic sample, so whenever it undergoes Lassine test, so therefore it will react with sodium and it will make a compound that is known as sodium thiocyanate. Sodium thiocyanate. Okay, it will be produced by reaction or by Lassine test. Now if we undergo the test, now if we add ferric chloride, now if we add ferric chloride into this solution, okay, if we add ferric chloride and if we heat this extract, so then sodium thiocyanate plus ferric chloride, okay, so then a blood red color will be formed. A blood red color will be formed, that is for ferrous thiocyanate. FeSCN whole 3, because iron is having valency 3 here. So ferrous thiocyanate plus 3 NaCl. So this compound ferrous thiocyanate, it is having a blood red color. So in case that when the sample contains both sulfur, carbon and nitrogen, and if we undergo this test, so if the blood red color, if this compound is formed, then a blood red color will be obtained. So it will confirm us about the presence of sulfur in the compound. Okay, next one, if the organic sample only contain sulfur, if the organic sample contain only sulfur, so then whenever sulfur it is present in the organic sample, so whenever it is heated or it undergoes Lassine test with sodium, so it will form sodium sulfite Na2S. Okay, it will form sodium sulfite because only sulfur is present. Okay, carbon is also present, but here nitrogen is not present, so sulfur will react with sodium to make sodium sulfite. Now if sodium nitroprusside, now for detecting sulfur in this case, for detecting sulfur in the case when only sulfur is present, so that means it is the sodium extract. Now this compound is present in the sodium extract. Okay, in initial case sodium thiocyanate was present in the sodium extract and now this compound is present in the sodium extract. Now if you take a little amount of sodium extract and add sodium nitroprusside in it, okay, if you add sodium nitroprusside in it, so then it will be changed into a violet colored compound or a purple colored compound, which will confirm us about the presence of sulfur in the compound. So what is the formula of sodium nitroprusside? The formula is Na2 FeCN whole 5 NO. So nitroso 1 group is present, cyanide group is present, iron is also present. So this is sodium nitroprusside. So now sodium nitroprusside is added into the sodium extract. So the sodium extract, that means Na2S. So by reaction between them, the compound that will be obtained is Na4. Okay, total 4 sodiums are there. Fe, Cn whole 5, NOS. Na4, Fe, Cn whole 5, NOS. So this compound will be obtained. This is known as sodium thionitroprusside. Okay, this was sodium nitroprusside and this is known as sodium thio. Thio why? Because sulfur is present. So the word thio is used whenever sulfur is present. Okay, not sodium, sorry, sulfur. Whenever sulfur is present in any compound, so this specific term, that is thio, it is used. So this is sodium thio for sulfur nitroprusside. So this is having a violet color or a purple color. So after adding sodium nitroprusside in the sodium extract, if the solution changes its color into purple or violet, so that means sulfur is present in the compound. Sulfur is present in the organic sample. Okay, so this is for when only sulfur is present, and the initial reaction was when sulfur and nitrogen both are present. Next, next is test for halogens. Test for halogens. Halogens means which contain chlorine, bromine, iodine. Okay. So the test for halides, the test for halogens can easily be done by adding silver nitrate solution. So the test for halogens can easily be done by adding silver nitrate. Silver nitrate means AgNO3 into the sodium extract. Okay. If we take now again during the Lassine test, if the organic sample contain X means this chlorine, bromine or iodine. So if the organic sample contains halogen, so whenever it reacts with sodium, so it will form sodium halide. That means NaCl or NaBr or NaI, whatever. So the sodium halide will be obtained. Now, if we add silver nitrate in it, if we add silver nitrate AgNO3 in it, so what will happen? Double displacement type reaction. Sodium will react with NO3 making sodium nitrate, as well as a salt of silver halide will be precipitated out. Okay, the salt of silver halide will be precipitated out. So silver halide. Now if we take sodium chloride here, whenever there will be chlorine, so it will be sodium chloride. Whenever it is bromine, so it will be sodium bromide, and whenever it is iodine, it will be sodium iodide. So whenever we are reacting them with AgNO3, so for the chlorine compound, for the chloride, what we will get here? We will get the precipitate of silver chloride. AgCl will be precipitated and sodium nitrate will be in the solution. Now silver chloride, it is white in color. So white colored silver precipitate, white colored precipitate of AgCl will be obtained. Now if we add ammonium hydroxide in it or ammoniacal solution, the aqueous solution, aqueous means water, aqueous solution of ammonia if is added into it, so then it will be insoluble. That means the precipitate will not dissolve, it will be insoluble. So that confirms us about the presence of chlorine. Okay, that will confirm us about the presence of chlorine. Now if bromine is present, if bromine is present in the organic sample, then again by adding AgNO3 we will get silver bromide as precipitate, right? When chlorine was present we get AgCl, when bromine is present we will get AgBr. Now AgBr is pale yellow in color. Okay, it is having pale yellow color. So if pale yellow color is obtained, okay, one thing I have told wrong. It's, in ammonium hydroxide solution it is soluble. Okay, it is soluble. It will form a silver argentate solution. So that's why AgCl, if ammonium hydroxide or aqueous ammonia is added in silver chloride, so we will see that the white colored precipitate that was obtained at the bottom, that will slowly dissolve in the solution, and at a certain time, after a time, the solution will become clear again. Okay, the white colored precipitate, it will dissolve in the solution. Now this one AgBr, it is pale yellow colored. Now again if we add NH4OH in it, so we could see that it is partially soluble. That means a little amount of AgBr of the precipitate, it will dissolve and a little will be remaining there. Okay, so not completely it will be soluble in ammonium hydroxide. And the last one for iodide, if we add AgNO3 here, so here we will be getting silver iodide. So silver iodide is yellow in color, not pale yellow. Okay, when it is completely yellow or dark yellow, so that means it contains silver iodide. It contains silver iodide, and if we add again ammonium hydroxide in it, so it will be insoluble. By adding NH4OH in it, it will be insoluble. Okay, so how we can distinguish between chlorine, bromine and iodine? So if the precipitate that is obtained by adding silver nitrate, if it is white in color, so that is for chloride. Now if you add NH4OH in it, so it will become soluble, the precipitate will dissolve in the solution. Now if the precipitate obtained is pale yellow, that means pale means what? Light yellow, so then it can be for silver bromide. Now if you add NH4OH solution, so a little amount will dissolve. Now if the precipitate obtained at the bottom, if it is dark yellow colored, so that means it contains AgI, and when you add NH4OH, so you see that no change in the precipitate, that means it is not at all soluble in ammonium hydroxide. So by this way we can identify these three type of halogens, that whether chlorine is present or bromine is present or iodine is present. Okay, now one more thing, that is before adding silver nitrate in the sodium extract, here just I have told you have to make the sodium extract by Lassine test, and then you have to put silver nitrate into sodium extract. But one thing that is important, before adding silver nitrate, you have to heat the sodium extract with concentrated nitric acid. You have to heat the sodium extract with concentrated nitric acid before adding silver nitrate solution. That is very important point. Why we have to add with concentrated nitric acid? Because if carbon because if carbon, nitrogen or sulfur are present in the organic sample along with halogen, if carbon, nitrogen or sulfur are present in the organic sample along with nitrogen, then along with NaX we will also get sodium cyanide for nitrogen and sodium sulfite for sulfur, right? Already these two reactions we have seen. Because of the presence of carbon and nitrogen, we will get sodium cyanide, and because of the presence of sulfur, we will get sodium sulfite. Okay, this is during Lassine test. This is during Lassine test. Now, if you add directly silver nitrate in it, if you add directly silver nitrate in the sodium extract, 3 of these compounds are present in the sodium extract, right? 3 of these compounds are present now in the sodium extract, and if you directly add AgNO3 here, so what will happen? Obviously, silver will react with the halogen forming AgX. AgX means either AgCl or AgBr or AgI. That means one silver halide will be obtained, as well as silver, it will react with the cyanide forming AgCN. It is also white in color, as well as silver will react with sulfur also, making Ag2S. Okay, making Ag2S. So not only the silver halide, along with this AgCN and Ag2S will also be obtained. This will also be precipitated. This is having white color, this is having black color, and this may have white or yellow or pale yellow color. So now if you get a mixture of precipitates, so then it will be obviously difficult for us to separate them and to identify them individually, right? If we get a mixture of these 3 precipitates, okay, this one is our desired precipitate. This is our desired precipitate, and these 2 we don't want. These 2 are undesired or unwanted. Okay, so we don't want these 2. So these are extra. So these 2 are interfering in detection of halide. These 2 extra things are interfering in determination of the halide. So what we have to do? We have to remove them. We have to remove them. So for this reason, before adding AgNO3, we have to add nitric acid here. We have to add concentrated or dilute nitric acid here. Okay, before adding silver nitrate solution. So what will happen now? So if sodium cyanide is present, so sodium cyanide now will react with HNO3 and it will form hydrogen cyanide. So which will be eliminated out in form of gas plus NaNO3. Now if it contains sulfur as Na2S, then by heating it with nitric acid, hydrogen will react with the sulfur forming hydrogen sulfide gas, which is again eliminated. Okay, so this cyanide, that means nitrogen, and this hydrogen sulfide containing sulfur, this will be eliminated out in the first step when we are heating it in presence of concentrated nitric acid. Okay, now nitrogen is eliminated, sulfur is also eliminated. Now you can add silver nitrate here because sodium halide is not eliminated, right? Sodium halide will not be eliminated. So here sodium halide will be present. So now it will react with silver nitrate, making silver halide, which we have to use for detection of the halogen. Okay, so this is the test which we can use for detection of halogens. Okay, so in our next class we will see the quantitative analysis, okay, that contains different types of numericals. We will discuss it in our next class. So thank you everyone for joining and for watching this video. Have a good day.